NCAA lacrosse at Syracuse, and this year no name means more to the Orangemen than Powell. Brothers Casey and Ryan have Syracuse on a 4-game win streak, and the rest of the Orangemen have stepped it up as they dance into a showdown with the Virginia Cavaliers and 33-goal scorer Shea Jalbert. It's Syracuse versus Virginia for a berth in the semifinals. Up next. You're looking at an absolutely perfect day at Hofstra University, the site of the quarterfinal matchup. Offensive powerhouses, 6 seed Virginia. The Cavaliers will face off against the number 3 seed Syracuse Orangemen. Watch out, folks. You're going to see a lot of action from the offensive end. Hi, everyone. I'm Lee Felsmo, joined by Bob Rule, formerly an All-American goalie at Cornell. And Bob, we're talking about scoring goals here.
Well, if you look at this, these could be the 2 best transition teams in the nation. You probably see 40 goals scored today. You'll see guys running up and down the field, running the fast break. It'll be an exciting day of offensive lacrosse.
Well, there's a lot of offensive stars in this world, but one guy stands above all, and that is Mr. Powell, Casey Powell. Let's take a look at the Syracuse offensive end of the field.
Okay, you look at Casey Powell. He is arguably the best player in lacrosse today, collegiate lacrosse. The way he is so great is he'll find 10 different ways to beat you. He'll throw the backhand pass, the backhand shot. He'll find seams that nobody else finds. He's the top scorer in the nation, had 9 points against Virginia early in the season. He's one of the keys today.
Nobody thought that Gary Gates' records would be beaten, but he is the guy that's going to do that. Of course, his brother Ryan, critical to the offensive end on that end of the field. Virginia can score from a lot of different ways, but it seems like they have a lot of confidence in one guy, Shea Jalbert.
Well, Shea Jalbert is their top goal scorer. Last year as a freshman, he had the ball in his stick for the last play of Virginia's season. That's the kind of confidence they have in him. Today, he's got to come up big. He's got to score goals today, and he's the best finisher. He's got to finish off plays.
Virginia looking to get a lot of offense out of their team. They need a big day out of their goalie, Sanderson. We have a great matchup in store for you. The teams are locked and loaded. Come back to Hofstra in just a moment.
Carl Reuter back here at Hofstra Stadium, Hempstead, New York, quarterfinal action. It is Syracuse, it is Virginia, 2 teams that love to light up the scoreboard. Let's go back to February 28th of this season. 49 seconds were left in the game. Virginia's David Wren, number 2, takes the feed from number 16, Tucker Rodenbach. 17-16 UVA. Game over? No, sir. Syracuse would come right back in this one. Number 22, Casey Powell, maybe the best in the country, takes the feed. Number 8, Matt Kataya, ties it at 17, and we go off to overtime. Now there's only 19 seconds left in the game. Ryan Powell, the gift to Devin Darcangelo. 4th goal of the game coming up, and the sophomore ends it. And this will be 18-17 in overtime. It is Syracuse edging Virginia. If you like goals, stay tuned. As Bob and Leaf alluded to just moments ago, we could see upwards of 40 goals in this quarterfinal matchup. And we're coming up with that matchup in just a few moments when we come back to Hofstra Stadium, Hempstead, New York. It's Syracuse and Virginia. Stay tuned.
We're back at Hofstra. Great quarterfinal matchup. Ready for the opening face-off. It is Virginia in the orange jerseys, Syracuse in the white. Leif Ellsmo, Bob Rule, Carl Reuter on the sideline.
Now, one thing, Leif, Virginia's had a little bit of problems with face-offs this year. That could be really key in this ballgame.
Always are. Possessions, of course, you talk about teams that score about 40 goals against each other. You've got to have the ball. This is Casey Powell, number 22. Head and shoulders the best player, the most dynamic player in the country. He gets hammered by his defensive matchup during the day. That's going to be number 6, Ryan Curtis. And Curtis whacks him in the head.
Wow. I didn't see a flag on that.
I think it was a push call. What do we have?
Push. Watch this in the head. Bang! Boy, oh boy. That was a mugging, not a push.
Teams at even strength, 6-on-6. Syracuse has the first possession. Syracuse has scored 40 goals against Virginia the last 2 times they played them. And that's what Chris Sanderson in the goal, number 22, is thinking about probably right now, how he's got to get a little tougher. Sanderson is very, very tough kind of style goalie, Bob Rule. You're a goalie, but he's a blocker. He'll stand up and face anything you throw at him.
Problem is they throw a lot at him in Syracuse.
Ira Vanderpool going against the defense of Ragusa. A lot of the challenge for Syracuse as he goes against Curtis again is to give Casey Powell opportunities to shoot. Not a great shot. Curtis got a piece of stick on, but Bob, we'll see them in this game do a lot of things to get the ball in his stick.
Exactly, and they want to try as much as one-on-one, get him in front, get the team to be so conscious they can dump it off. He's a great assist man also, not just a goal scorer.
Out of bounds balls, you might see Casey come over and take it on the out situation. You want the ball in number 22's stick.
In the last game, he had 5 goals and 4 assists. That gives you an idea of the power that he had. I saw him play last year against UMass. Didn't have a goal, he had 8 assists. That's the kind of player he is. He can beat you so many different ways. Watch his quickness. Watch how his feet move. You can tell this guy is high-powered.
Big shot from out front by David Wren to start it off, and Wren beats Syracuse for the first goal of the game. Virginia has a lot of different players that can score. This time they come from the midfield. David Wren makes it a 1-0 game.
And David Wren really just powered his way around his man. If we see the here, now watch the replay. Look at Wren. Powers his way around, and really, you saw the Syracuse defenseman was out really too far to back up. And he just, watch this now. Wren gets the ball, switches to his right hand, want to be able to go righty-lefty in lacrosse, and really just powers down and takes a good hard bounce shot that Gebhardt didn't have enough time. Really, would have been a tough save for him to make.
Another face-off coming at you off the face-off. Jason Hard in there for Virginia. They feel like they have a good matchup there, one that they can win, but Syracuse 2 times in a row there comes up with the ball. This one thrown out of bounds with a nice check from Jay Jalbert, I believe.
Exactly. Jay Jalbert gets a little check on the defenseman, got a little lazy. The defenseman didn't know he was behind. Jay Jalbert was behind him. Jalbert just flicked the stick and the ball goes out of bounds.
Well, if you've got a good arm, you could probably hit Jay Jalbert's house in Huntington. He
right.
Grew up on the island here. 6'1", strong, around 200 pounds. And Virginia gets their offense going. Drew McKnight is really the key to this offense, in my estimation. Number 9, he carried the ball right there. We talk about Jalbert, but number 9 has been hurt at times this year. He had a shoulder situation. It seems like the offense goes through McKnight. He is really the guy that can settle the offense, number 9.
But you know the thing, too, Leif, is you're not going to win with one player. Casey Powell's got his brother, a lot of other fine players around him. It's the same thing with Virginia. McKnight is an excellent attackman.
Jeff Lowe now brings the ball in for Syracuse. Big one-on-one move and a check from behind takes the ball out of his stick. Henry Oki, good job by him. 1-0 to score early in quarter number 1. Virginia leads Syracuse.
And what occurred then was you cannot be an offensive player, go into the goalie's crease, that circle, and player went in, the Syracuse player went in, so Virginia gets the ball.
Chris Sanderson starts in the goal for Syracuse, or for Virginia rather. It'll be his game to win or lose. You won't see him come out probably unless he gets injured.
And the one thing I've seen right now, Leif, I've seen a little bit of sloppy play on both sides. I mean, you should clear the ball between 80 and 90% of the time. And we've seen a couple of bad passes, a couple of checks. So they've got to kind of avoid these mistakes.
That one by Virginia gives the ball back to Syracuse. Another chance at getting it up. And, of course, off on the side, trying to get it back is Jason Gebhardt in the goal. Interesting story there, Mr. Goalie Bob Rule. Jason Gebhardt has really gone through a lot of psychological motivations, some self-motivations. He's had trouble this year. He had some contacts put in for his sight. He's really had some shaky confidence times, and he's really trying to get focused on these playoffs to come up one notch.
Well, I talked to John Desko. He said he actually had new contacts put in, but he said he had a particular problem in the dome up at Syracuse where they play because of the darkness and the shadows and so on. They're hoping to play better outdoors. He also hurt his knee in the fall. He didn't send any spring ball, but sometimes that affects your mobility. Another thing is he's a lefty goalie, which is to his advantage.
Well, you got lefty goalies on both ends of the field. Sanderson is lefty as well. Sensing a trend here. We've had 2 quarterfinals out of Hofstra and 3 lefty goalies starting the games.
That's right.
Sanderson ties his shoe. Gets back into the goal to face that big offense. He's from Ontario, Sanderson is, and he gets a shot right there. Gonna come off the pipe.
Oh, good save!
That's his style, Bob.
Oh, yes.
He's a blocker. He'll dive in front of everyone.
Boy, that was a terrific save on that rebound.
Ryan Powell trying to drive in and get position. Cannot get it on Leachman.
Leachman did a nice job on Ryan Powell. Because Ryan Powell's real quick also. It just wouldn't give him that position to come around.
Well, Casey Powell tried to beat the defense of Ryan Curtis. Couldn't do it there. Number 6 won that battle. Ryan Curtis, 5'10", 180. And you've got Powell matching up at 6'1", 192. So obviously, Casey Powell's strength, size, very tough to match up. And the best defenseman on Virginia's team, 5'10", much smaller, but tough, tough, tough. Mike Curtis from the Colts. Remember him, folks?
Yep.
Middle linebacker, madman. Well, that's his dad.
Now watch this great good low bounce shot, which is what you want to get a rebound. Now watch Sanderson dive across and make that save. A left-handed goalie taking advantage of being left-handed. A right-handed goalie, that ball is in.
Back to live action. This is Jalbert working on the defense of Syracuse. Good stick check there by Kevin Sheedy. Ball into Gebhardt. Looks for the outlets.
Now, simple little thing like this. They're going to call interference. When you pick the ball up, you cannot interfere with the other team, and that's what happens. As a coach, you're always telling guys, yell ball when you pick it up, so that one of your men does not block another man out and you lose control of it. That's what happened then.
Good look at Gebhardt between the pipes.
A real veteran. One of the things that rankled a lot of the players playing, he said last year when they won, his parents immediately made reservations for the next championship.
Well, Jalbert came in and had one blocked by Gebhardt, and it was 10 on 10. And then his momentum just took him right in. He leveled Gebhardt.
It looked like a hockey game a little bit there because he leveled Gebhardt then, let him know he's there.
Couldn't beat him with a shot.
To Gebhardt made a good save. Watch this. They'll be in that bang. I don't know. It's a little tough. I'll tell you.
I might want to throw a flag on that one. That's kind of tough.
That'd be unsportsmanlike, actually. Well, we saw it down here that I thought that Casey Powell got mugged down here, so hey, the official's going to let him play the game today, I guess.
Well, there's mugging, and then there's mugging in the crease.
That's right.
And I thought you guys were protective of that area.
We're supposed to be. That's what your defenseman is supposed to do.
Casey Powell gets the ball. Curtis matched up on him. The thing that separates Casey Powell, he's got all the skills, all the ability, is his inventiveness. He's very creative, and he will just create shots where other people would not even think about it.
He has that ability. They call him the Michael Jordan of lacrosse because of his inventiveness.
Bataya 8 started that ball, went to the far side. Casey Powell just lit up a hard liner, went out of bounds.
My question, why does Casey Powell shoot high, 5 yards out, shoot low? The worst you'll get out of him is a rebound.
Bob?
That wasn't Powell?
That wasn't Powell. Number 20, that's right. Powell would not do that. It was John Matthews.
John Matthews, that's right.
Good thing it was John Matthews, because I don't want you ever to tell Casey Powell how to shoot. Here goes Syracuse working it in. It starts with Stuart Smith. And Smith matched up against David Baruch. This is Ryan Powell moving in against a big size disadvantage. Penn Leachman, 6'5". I tell you, with a 6-foot pole playing defense, that's got to be a tough day.
Tough. The only thing you can beat him on a guy like that is quickness.
Here's an isolation. Casey Powell getting a lot of distance between everybody else. No help can come. It's him against Curtis. Coming up to set a pick was Matthews. Matthews getting in his way. That hard shot blocked by Sanderson. You know, he showed low in the shot, and then he stayed low. 4 saves for Sanderson, and he has come up strong. Good day for him.
Sanderson has been hot. We talked a little bit earlier. The fact is he's getting the playoffs. A hot goalie might win the whole thing for people. Sanderson has come up big a couple times now.
Our other quarterfinal was Princeton beating Duke, and Princeton has one loss this year, Bob. It was to a hot goalie named Chris Sanderson.
Exactly, at Virginia.
And he's on the field right here doing the same thing in the early moments against Syracuse. Michael Leahy gives the ball off to David Wren. He is the only goal of the game. He's getting things crossed up. A shot there and a goal. David Wren 2. And Syracuse nothing. We've got 8 minutes left in the first quarter. Virginia off to an early lead. Quarterfinal action from Hofstra. Stay with us.
Number 2, David Wren.
2-0 the score in favor of David Wren. Oh, and Virginia. But Wren is really hot, and Bob, they're initiating from up top. They're trying to beat him in the midfield. And obviously they feel like they have an advantage there, and they're making it work, getting good shots on Gebhardt.
Exactly. And you know what's that? You're not seeing the Syracuse team back up. They're spreading their attack out a little bit, and the defensemen are going out with them. They can't help out to back up on the midfielders. It's worked twice now. Notice, too, who's winning the faceoff is Syracuse.
Syracuse winning where they thought they had an advantage the other way. Vanderpool comes in and takes a hard shot. Ira Vanderpool, the senior from Norwalk, Connecticut, makes it a 2-1 game. Talked about a lot of offense, and here it comes.
And you see it though from the midfield. It's interesting. They're getting free, but we talked about winning faceoffs. It starts to get its effect. Here comes Vanderpool. Now watch this move. Move to the right and just burst of speed. Good right-hand hard shot to the far side. Beats Sanderson. Nothing you can do about it. But there's been no backup in this game right now.
His 14th goal of the season. Focus on Casey Powell. So far, no goals from him, but 2 for Virginia's David Wren, and Vanderpool makes it a 2-1 game. 4-0 in the faceoff department. Syracuse really doing a job there. Vanderpool back on the field, and it may be a clearing situation.
10-second violation. They get in the offensive side of the field in 10 seconds when we're in the neutral zone.
Roy Simmons, member of the Hall of Fame. John Desko, his assistant, longtime assistant. That's a great combination right there, those two guys.
Wonderful. John Desko, too, we were over watching Garden City play one of the local high schools. And that's where Desko was Thursday, taking a high school game.
Kevin Donahue, also a longtime coach, tremendous offensive player there. And then again, Laddie Horrell, also there from Bowling Green. I played with Laddie Horrell.
Really?
And obviously, Bowling Green's influence is important to the Syracuse success.
I think you're right.
Roy Simmons has really made fans of a lot of people with his run-and-gun style at Syracuse. He sort of changed the face with the Gate brothers of field lacrosse, added a creative element that was never seen before.
And I always think that's true. If you look at coaches, I think Bill Tierney would be a terrible coach at Syracuse, and Coach Simmons would be a terrible coach at Princeton because they have such different styles, different types of players.
Tucker Radeball coming in, and Radeball, one of the sensational offensive stars from Glenarm. Ball coming in, he thought it went in, but it didn't. Gebhardt looks behind him, but it was rejected. Did it come off the iron?
I think it came off a post, yes. The goalie's best friend.
Mercoloni gets it back now behind the goal. It's Drew McKnight controls.
I was saying, Simmons lets his boys play. Most coaches tear their hair out when you go a backhand pass. Simmons loved it. He'd like to beat you 25-24 if he can. Bill Tierney would go crazy if his team scored 25 goals against him.
I love the Syracuse. I love both styles, but
right.
I've always loved and been a fan of the Syracuse style. Big shot there, bounces wide. And then a shot redirected wide in front of the goal. Look at the sliding defense coming crashing in the form of Matt Alexander.
I like it, but you know what I like? I like Virginia's movement of the ball. That's what you do. Move that ball around and you'll find guys who are open like that.
Jay Jalbert uses that over-the-head dodge move, which he's done. He's gone over top the stick in front of him. He's got the size to make that work. And then a rocket shot out of the pipe. And Gebhardt just watches that one rip past his head.
You know, there's where he used the size to his advantage. He turned, he protected his stick shot over his shoulder. Jay Jalbert, great individual move. Now watch Jalbert, watch him work in the defenseman. Back and forth, back and forth. Defenseman makes a little mistake, puts the stick behind him, and Jalbert using his size shoots right over the defenseman by the goaltender Gebhardt. Great shot.
Jalbert's 34th goal on the season, 3-1 early here in this one. And if you talk about what goalie's hot, what goalie's not, right now it's pretty obvious. Gebhardt off to a slow start in the goal for Syracuse, and that could really kill him if it comes down to just one hot and one cold goalie.
I think you're right. We talked before, it might be whoever has the ball in the last possession might be the one that wins, or a hot goaltender.
Syracuse again gets the faceoff. Bob, I think they're 5-0 in faceoffs.
Yeah. Well, as I said, Virginia's had a real problem getting faceoffs this year, and this will wear them down after a while.
Into Vanderpool, can't get it, triple teamed inside. Here comes the Virginia Cavaliers. Drew Melchione. Melchione, another one of those guys who's going to light up the goal.
And Drew Melchione's dad was one of the original, played for the Nets. Bill Melchione over here. He's from Garden City. He played with Dave DeBusch's son in high school.
Rate of ball came in on the gamble by the defense of Syracuse. They gambled with Josh Rule, who came out and really got them into a fast break situation. But Virginia could not capitalize. Sloppy clearing, as Bob mentioned, gives the ball right back to Virginia. McKnight will control the ball behind. Glatzel playing defense. Up top, Jalbert. Boy, he had an open net. He goes far pipe, and that's where Gebhardt was parked.
Right, good save by Gebhardt. Good reaction save.
Gebhardt really filled up that far side. Being a left-handed goalie, his body was moved to that side, and he blocked it. Ball now controlled by Syracuse. They're down by 2. 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
A lot of little things, too. I talked to John Desko. He said they had beautiful weather up in Syracuse, even as the weather was bad here. Good save by Sanderson there.
Leone coming in. I'm not sure it didn't hit the pipe, but he's certainly been about as good as he gets early in this game. Now, what I mean by that is there aren't any 4-star goalies. There are good goalies, solid goalies, and at times great goalies. And Sanderson can be very sensational. He won't control a game, but he has been a very solid goalie. And when he's good, this team will be hard to beat for Virginia. Behind the goal is Rada Ball. One of those swing players, attack and midfield. This is Michael Leahy, trying to get a little bit of move on Matt Spione. Virginia moving the ball around. Historically, Syracuse has a gambling style on defense. They'll try to create some pressure, but maybe not back up. Right there was another play that the defenseman came out and offered too much room, and that's where it started. And ball goes by the goalie. It was Marshall Abrams who started with the slide, gave Virginia the opening. 4-1 the score. Gebhardt having a tough time so far. He hasn't saved much down there. It's 4-1 in favor of the Virginia Cavaliers. Even though Syracuse has gotten 6 straight faceoffs, they have not gotten quality shots, or the ones at least they have gotten on Sanderson. He's made the saves.
Well, you got to say Casey Powell's been pretty quiet. I think that Sanderson made one good save on a Casey Powell shot, but you haven't seen him take control of the game yet.
Alexander gives the ball back to his brother, Ryan Powell. Ryan Powell, very competent. In most cases, you'd say an excellent attackman, but he's not his brother. No slam on him. There is the pass into Casey. He couldn't do it, but picked off in front of Casey Powell by Brian Soliday. Soliday came in and just stole it from Casey Powell.
You know, there was a one-handed. I think he grabbed it one-handed and just threw it by Sanderson, and Sanderson was kind of surprised that he caught the ball.
If you watch the play, everybody was focused on Casey Powell because that's where the play was intended to go.
Now here it comes. This Powell cuts to the front, but Soliday catches it one-handed, left-handed, and puts it a really fine play by Brian Soliday. Ryan played, again, you see it. This is Ryan Powell with the ball. He'll look in front. He sees a cutter. It's not to his brother. It ends up with Soliday. Soliday, a great player, played on the Beth Page team that won the state championship with A.J. Haugen, who's a great player down at Johns Hopkins right now.
4-2 the score now. Soliday brings it back. And Soliday literally put his left hand up and took the ball out of Casey Powell's hand. It was going to Casey. He stole it. And maybe the focus of goalie Sanderson was on that pass to Powell, but a nice move, a very sensational move to give him the second goal of the game.
Very athletic. I mean, they catch it one-handed and throw it in a quick stick. I'm sure it did startle the goalie. I would startle me, I'll tell you.
Now behind that? Absolutely. Jamie Leachman behind the goal, number 5. Falls down, a little bit slick out there. Of course, very hot, beautiful. Watch this shot, right hip high by Rada Ball. So far, Gebhardt not having an average game even for him. It's 5-2, and what do if he doesn't come up? Do you go to the bench, Syracuse?
He's got Mulligan, who's a very good goaltender. That kid from Farmingdale, who was a great goaltender. But watch this, though. Gebhardt actually guesses wrong. The ball will come out to Radabov. Now watch. If you saw that very closely, Gebhardt actually was starting to move to his right, and the ball went left. Here we go. It's going to be a good feed. Radabov gets the ball. Now watch. He actually moved to his right, and the ball went to his left. Gebhardt's starting to guess, and that can be very dangerous for a goaltender. You got to react a little bit more than that.
Sideline with Simmons and Desko. A little bit concerned. Actually, it was Donahue over there next to Coach Simmons. 5-2 the score in favor of Virginia. They haven't had too many that haven't gone in. Dom Starsia has a pretty good plan going. Of course, it all starts with a solid defense of Curtis right here against Casey Powell.
And he knows, Starsia's screaming because he knows a 5-2 lead against Syracuse is nothing. They can explode quickly.
5 shots, or 5 goals rather, on 10 shots for Virginia, shooting 50%. Not bad. I think that's the, you know, Casey Powell will be a factor, Bob, but you don't want, obviously, the game to get out of hand.
Exactly.
He's not going to score 12 goals for you, so you got to get him in the game early.
And, I mean, heat's going to be a factor. These guys are going to get run down a bit in the fourth quarter, so you're right. You don't want to be so far. You can't put yourself in such a big hole you can't climb out.
Tucker Radabov puts it right in the stick of Gebhardt. That's got to feel good for Jason. Jason pulls that one down.
My question is, why did Radabov shoot the ball? Radabov then was still just a little bit too anxious. Had a man all over him, took a fairly weak shot high to goalie stick side.
That's 3 saves for Gebhardt.
You got to remember too, the last time they met, Syracuse trailed most of the game. Came back and tied it up in the last few seconds of the game and won in overtime. 18-17?
It was 18-17.
18-17.
Saw Roy Simmons a moment ago. The game before, against head-to-head these two teams, Syracuse scored 22 goals.
22 goals. It was like 22-20 or something like that. It was phenomenal.
Radabov brings the ball out front. Virginia controls now. This is Jalbert who, look at that, over the front. That face dodge move of his is a little bit risky, but pretty effective from him. He's a very skilled player. Fast break. Jeff Lowe starts it backside. Ryan Powell, and look at Sanderson.
Good save by Sanderson, right?
He didn't want to put it back in play.
Oh, why do they give it back? It's a shot never under control.
Well, Sanderson was smart. He didn't put it back in play because if he puts it back in play and they get it, he's in big trouble.
My question is, Lee, that was a shot. He never had control of it. I don't understand why they would give it to him.
In other words, he made a block, though. He blocked the ball, and then the ball goes to his feet, and then it comes out. Now it's a loose ball.
I would have given it to the goalie just on effort, Lee.
Well, of course you would. You're a goalie. Ball
What
going
the
far
heck was
side.
that?
Holy smokes.
What's
Matt
he doing?
Kataya. Oh, time was almost out.
I see.
3 seconds left. Come on, let's get into the game, Bob and Leaf. Here we go. 3 seconds were left. He tried to get it to Kataya. Could not do it. Virginia leads 5-2. And they are looking good on the offensive end. They have that 3-goal lead going into the second quarter. We're back at Hofstra. It is a 5-2 game in favor of the UVA team, and we want to remind you that today's NCAA playoff action is brought to you by STX, performance-driven, precision-crafted. By Hofstra University, we teach success. By A.G. Edwards, serving the investment community since 1888, and probably 1887, and probably a client of Barry Landers.
Yes.
And also Manhattan East Suites Hotels, and by Cablevision. Carl Reuter on the sideline.
You know, Lee, two of the hotbed areas in college lacrosse and, of course, of high school lacrosse, right here on Long Island, and, of course, down in the Washington, Maryland, Virginia area. Well, when you look at this game, there are 13 players from these two teams that are from Long Island. In fact, 8 on this Syracuse, 8 on the Syracuse team, and all told on the Virginia team, 16 players from either Maryland or Virginia. So I guess some home cooking for the Virginia sidelines there for the Cavaliers. 16, the 40-man roster, homegrown, Maryland, Virginia area. Back upstairs.
All right, Carl, down there on what is turned out to be a beautiful afternoon. The AstroTurf, a perfect surface for this speedy offensive duo. You've got Syracuse against Virginia. 3 goals separate them right now. We're only on a 28-goal pace right now, so they have yet to get heated up. And they've switched ends now in the orange jerseys, of course. UVA will bring the ball in with one of their few face-off wins. Halcomb gets it behind the goal to Tucker Radeball. Radeball trying to beat the defensive rule. Any relation there, Bob?
No, R-U-H-L-E. Vern Rule, the baseball player, but not Rule, the lacrosse player.
Rule has great size, matches up. Big shot from up top. Look at that velocity. Tim Burns just let it go. Sophomore out of Baldwin, New York.
And I'm going to tell Tim Burns, bounce the ball, get the ball on cage and bounce it. It was a good overhand shot, but get the ball on cage and shoot low against the goaltender.
Jay Jalbert, a little bit of trouble with his footing, as did Casey Powell on this end. So turf could be a little bit slick, just with perspiration, because I tell you, there's no rain. It's just hot. That's all.
Well, I remember one of the teams ordered an entire tub of ice a little while ago to have by the on the field so to cool the players off.
Drew McKnight brings the ball around, gets hammered by the defense. That time it was Glatzel.
Well, held the ball just a little bit too long, and that's why he got hammered. And he should have gotten hammered. If you're a coach, a defensive coach, that's what you want.
Ryan Powell gets it in, gets the ball checked out. Glatzel will have to watch. You know, he just made that check. He's a freshman from Boys Latin. Did not start this season as a starter. Has worked himself into the lineup. An excellent player out of Maryland who's being counted on by Roy Simmons. Ball back to UVA. Early second quarter, up by 3. McKnight up top. McKnight will have a one-on-one opportunity here. No, that's not McKnight. That's Holcomb. But it's backed up by Radeball. Stays with Virginia. Tucker Radeball brings the ball in. Rule plays defense and a nice block, but it goes dribbling in. Gebhardt got his body on it, but that baby just trickled in to make it a 6-2 game.
And the one thing I like what Gebhardt did, he went down to his knees. He goes down to his knees. He takes away his chance, mobility to move. He stood up straight. Now watch this. Tucker Radeball comes around, real tough. Now Gebhardt, all he's going to do is stand up and keep his good position. That's the second goal of the day. On a good hard face dodge, coming around, shooting left it. Good bounce shot, though. That's what I love, good bounce shots.
Radeball on the sideline.
Great name in lacrosse, Radeball. A lot of people have played lacrosse from Maryland. Great family tradition.
No question about it. Sean Radeball, Dan Radeball.
Is there a Bob Radeball? No?
Can't remember. I'm trying to think back to my era. I can't remember back then.
There were then. I know that like fathers.
Doug Radeball back in the 70s, right? He played
right.
his job with Maryland. Yes.
But no Bob Radeball. That's too bad.
Well, can you blame him? Here goes the Virginia team. Drew Melchione gives it up to David Wren. David Wren started off this game with 2 straight goals. Let's see if we can get here. Up top, he rips another shot.
Never a check on his stick. I'll tell you, I'm Roy Simmons. I got to call timeout now to get these guys organized. That's his 4th goal of the day. All the same move. A power forward, the equivalent of power forward in basketball. Just drove right by his man and scores a goal.
So Virginia coming in with the opinion they have to outscore Syracuse.
And they're doing it. Now watch this. Good hard movement, and he never plays good defense on him. He's good, hard, high bounce, high shot off of Gebhardt's stick side. We see it again. Right-hand shot. Good high shot to the right side. He's powering by him. They've got to double or back up.
Gebhardt really fighting this one today with a bad start. They've scored 2 goals in 28 seconds to give them a 5-goal lead. They need some possession. Syracuse does. Casey Powell won't mean anything if he doesn't carry the ball.
Exactly. And the other thing, they're not backing up. They're not giving. You see a good defense like Princeton play.
Big shot out front by Jamie Leachman. And Gebhardt gets comfortable with that one. Outlets to his Syracuse teammates. And here they go. Glisker gives the ball up to Kataya. I would be surprised if they start putting Casey Powell on the midfield, Bob, and try to get him some transition opportunity.
Exactly, I think so. The only thing they got to worry about a little bit, Leach is burning them out. Right.
It's a hot one. 5-goal lead for Virginia. A little bit of a surprise that Virginia is scoring that many, but they're not that far over what we expected. Exactly. The big surprise is only 2 goals for Syracuse. The defense of Virginia doing a great job.
And Sanderson's come up like 3 times. We talked about being a hot goalie.
I'll tell you, he's a tough, tough kid. His father is Bill Geary, plays goalie in the indoor leagues. He's been born and bred to play the D in the goal. Backdoor shot by McKnight, and Jason Gebhardt makes the finest save of the day for him. Gebhardt makes 2 in a row, and that was his best.
Excellent save. You know what I like? He followed the ball the whole way. He had good position. The shooter has got to shoot for corners then, because he's so close to the goalie. He's going to hit him if he just shoots straight ahead, and that's what happened there.
So the fragile emotions of these crazy goalies, right, Bob? He had a rocky start, but now he's feeling great. He's made 2 great saves. He's getting comfortable. If you're a Syracuse fan, all you need is to get some shots on goal from your big guy.
You got to score a goal right here. Get some momentum.
Now, I watched Casey Powell wave off the ball. He pointed to get to the midfield, said get it up to the midfield. But of course now he has it. Curtis going on him. Curtis, they double team. He gets off to his brother, and that was it. They double teamed Casey, left Ryan open, and Casey Powell immediately recognized it, got it to him.
And here's the question: why do you double a guy behind the goal? He can't score. Don't double Casey Powell unless he's got a chance of scoring. He didn't then.
Guess what Bob Rule does most of his time, folks? He's a coach. It's a 7-3 game. 4-goal lead.
Now watch
Virginia.
this. Powell's got the ball. Watch this. They double quick, double too fast. He gets it to his brother, who's wide open, comes around, takes a good shot, and scores. Why double behind the goal when you don't have a chance of scoring?
Let's forget the double for a minute. This is a great shot by Ryan. Do you see how he dropped his stick? He got Sanderson going low, and then he came up over the top of him.
Most of the time, good shooters will fake high, get the goalie to go up, and then shoot low, where a goalie doesn't have a stick. But this time, he faked low, got the goalie to go down, and shot high. Opposite what you usually teach, but effective.
Syracuse, who dominated faceoffs early, lose their 2nd in a row, at least here, to Virginia. Their 4th in a row. So domination early by Syracuse, and 4 in a row for Virginia on the faceoff department. It's a 7-3 score, 2nd quarter action. Lee Felsmo, Bob Rule, Carl Reuters on the sideline. This is a quarterfinal game. The winner here advances to Rutgers for one of the most exciting weekends in sport. It's the championship weekend in lacrosse. Saturday will be the semis, and Monday the finals. Sunday the finals for Division III, and 2, I believe, the same day. Here goes Virginia working in on the sideline, trying to get that good shot up top. Double team comes in and gives him problems. So the double team on Henry Oki gives up the ball.
What you do then really, Leaf, is you pull the ball out. You got a double team, you have no shot, no clear pass, just run away from the goal and set yourself up again. That time he tried to force the ball and made a bad pass.
When you take a look at the schedule of these 2 teams, one of the problems with Syracuse is they start early with a couple big games like Princeton, and then they go up to their upstate New York stuff and play a few Ivy teams or Rutgers, or of course they got beat by Rutgers, but their season is not as challenging as Virginia's, where they have to fight to survive in the ACC. They play Maryland, they play Duke, they play Carolina. Very tough schedule for Virginia.
And then you have that ACC tournament right at the end. I call it being tournament hardened. I mean, you get used to playing big games day after day.
This is Ryan Powell getting it way out front to Keone. Bounce shot, easy save by Sanderson. He really kind of showed the high to low shot, and Sanderson had no problem measuring it. I don't know what that was. Clearing pass, trying to get it to a player, couldn't do it. Gebhardt feeling very good out of the goal. Now he picks up loose, no goalie. And a great save by Gebhardt. Gebhardt saved that 5 yards outside of the goal.
And I think he was another good save.
Another one.
Hot now.
Gebhardt has made the most sensational save of the tournament by far. He started off
in a row.
Oh, he was cold to start off this game, but Bob, those were exceptional saves.
And you know what he's doing? He's keeping Syracuse in the game. There's 3 goals right there. You're talking 10-3, not 7-3. He's keeping in the ball game right now.
Mark that on your VCR. If Syracuse comes back to win, that could be the point where this game turned around.
Interesting, too. All the guys out there who are goaltenders and players, listen to the goalie communicate with his team. Listen closely, a lot of talk. It's the goalies speaking.
Casey Powell rolls in, beats Ryan Curtis, and then the low shot saved by Sanderson.
He actually telegraphed it. We're going to drop the head of his stick, and if you're goalie, that's what you're looking for to go low.
Jalbert tried to get the shot off, but checked behind by Glatzel, a kid from Boys Latin. So Glatzel, coming out of Boys Latin, not starting to be in the year, has stepped up to a pretty high level of play. He's playing against Virginia, Jalbert, and Radeball and the others.
So if you can listen closely, listen to the talk of the defense. That's what you do if you're playing good defense. You're helping each other out by talking, telling where the ball is. Whoa! I'll tell you, they're not calling anything here.
Syracuse trying to get the shot off. The left-handed shot by Ryan, or who was that? No, it wasn't Powell. Number 8 in there, Kataya, I guess. Yeah, very small numbers, very small vertical numbers. Sorry, folks.
We're all getting old.
I'm not blind. I'm just a half a mile away. That's all. Malchione falls down with a push. Timeout called by Virginia. They lead by 4. It's 7:27 left in the second quarter. We're going to leave you for a moment, but come back with this great quarterfinal action. Syracuse, the higher seed, down by 4. We're back to Hofstra. Sensational action between two offensive powerhouses, Syracuse and Virginia, and so far it's been Virginia's game because of their defense. And of course, their offense is right there leading 7-4. Hey, the Hobart Lacrosse Camp, you want to be a part of this? I want you to call these numbers, 315-781-3565, or here's an 800 number, 941-6289. Boys ages 11 to 18. There's 2 sessions, and of course, July 5 to 9, July 19th to 23rd are the dates. You've got to be a part of this. Tremendous camp action, all the instruction, and fun your kids and lacrosse players would ever need. It's all happening here. Lee Felsman with Bob Rule and Carl Reuter. This is about as good as it gets. Dom Starsia, 6th season at Virginia, came from Brown. He's been a winner, a very high winning percentage. Already established as one of the highest winning percentages ever in the ACC. His offense is really on all cylinders, and the defense is doing well too.
Now watch Casey Powell. He comes out of a dodge. He drops his stick. Really not a great shot for anybody maybe but Casey Powell. When he dropped the stick, Sanderson immediately dropped his and played for the low shot. That's what happened there. But he's trying to force the ball a little bit to get Syracuse back on the board.
Yeah, I think most players, all that stuff's true. Casey Powell, nobody's got to talk about how to shoot to him. Nobody's got to talk about when's the right time to shoot, because he's proven everybody wrong.
Exactly.
He scored when you don't expect it. He's taken over games when you thought he couldn't.
That's what makes him such a powerful presence on the field. When you're playing, you're trying to defense him, you've got to constantly think of where is Casey Powell on the field. It's almost like having 2 guys on the field for 1.
Rated ball from Wren. This is Wren. Looks like after the timeout, they try to settle things down a little bit. Virginia getting a little bit more patient with their offense. That bounce by Leahy well in front of the goal, not even close to being a challenge.
And you know, I'll go back to what I talk about in games, hot days. It's much easier to play offense than defense on a hot day. It's much more tiring to be a defensive player when it's 90 degrees than an offensive player, because you know what you're going to be doing, and the ball travels so fast, it causes all kinds of slides and all kinds of things going on.
Ball couldn't get the ball loose. The defensive check took it right out. That was Josh Rule. Back to Gebhardt. We'll remind you that the biggest dramatic moments of the game have been provided by Gebhardt, who started off slow, and he has made 2 just highlight reel saves in the last 4 minutes. Syracuse getting a low shot on Sanderson, making it easy for him to make the save.
Sanderson, they're shooting low by going low with their stick, and they're telegraphing, and Sanderson's bringing the stick right down. He's a veteran. He knows what's happening when a guy drops his stick.
Well, Jeff Lowe took the shot. Maybe that answers your question.
I like that.
Lowe gives the ball to Ryan Powell, who works behind the goal in the defense of Penn Leachman. Leachman just huge. 6'5", 215 out of Bethesda. Fresh legs on the field for Syracuse. Ball way out front now. John Matthews trying to find Casey Powell. Well, there he is. Powell having a tough time getting footing. I don't know if they've made a bad decision on cleats or not.
Well, I noticed that the Syracuse guys all wear different cleats anyways.
Powell finds out in front his teammate, number 48, Ryan Soliday. He's already scored 1. This will be his 2nd goal of the game. And Powell, he's got all the tools. One of those tools is great vision.
I was going to say, you know what kind of play that is? I call that a bing bing. He gets the ball, he sees a little opening, bang, he gets in there. Watch Powell move. People have got to respect the double, bing bang. Gets a quick pass to Soliday. Soliday just puts it in the corner and scores. We see it again. Now watch him. Watch how he barely looks, bang. Get to the Soliday. Soliday beats him before Sanders has a chance to react. Great play. That's how you do it when you feed in the crease.
Denneker, Jason Denneker, a junior out of East Meadow, gets that face-off. Syracuse has been very, very successful in the face-off department. Gephardt gets it back to the midfield. Offense moving on. Tim Burns gets it behind, and now Ryan Powell driving against Leachman. What a task that is.
That is tough right there. That's like wrestling. If anybody's ever wrestled, you and a defenseman are going at it. It's very, very physically wearing.
Vanderpool comes in, looks for help. Casey Powell standing behind saying, get it out front, get it out front. Curtis still on Casey Powell. It's almost like Casey wants to have enough to win the game. Like he's saying, okay, I'll score a couple, I'll give a couple assists, but I'm going to save my hat trick for the fourth quarter.
You know, and the great athletes know how to pace themselves also. That's just what he's doing.
It's a very, very hot day. Syracuse not known as a hot weather school.
First man up for Syracuse.
Wait a minute, big play here, Bob. It's Sanderson. The penalty is on him. He came out to make the hit. 2 mistakes. 1, he comes out too far.
And
2, he commits a penalty. And 3, folks, he's in the box. It'll be an extra man play for Syracuse and a fresh goalie. That's the wrong number. Back on the Hofstra turf. This is an interesting play because the goalie is fresh. Penalty is on Sanderson, the goalie, and Syracuse will get to shoot on a brand new goalie.
And that could take long. Good play, not much you could do, but it was a good play.
Well, they got it in the hands of the big guy, Casey Powell, who was silent for the last 2 moments. He scored 1 and he assisted on the last 2 goals. That's a 7-5 game.
And, you know, we talk about momentum shifting. Virginia's won the last couple of face-offs after Syracuse kind of won them. All of a sudden, momentum is starting to shift into their favor. Now watch this ball movement. Ryan Powell takes it, he looks to the corner. They got to cut that off. And who scored the goal? Casey Powell scores the goal. Quick. It's Ben O'Neill. Okay, from Charlottesville, Virginia, was the goalie who came into play.
O'Neill not listed properly on the roster here. There he is, Ben O'Neill, got it. 7-5, that score by Casey Powell with 4 minutes left in the second quarter gives his team a nice little run of 3 goals. It was Ryan Powell, then Soliday from Casey, and then Casey scores. So Casey Powell has 2 assists and 1 goal in the last 3 scores. He's really leading the charge and not spending a lot of energy doing it.
That's exactly. He's saying, I don't want the ball at certain times because he knows he's not going to handle that defenseman at that moment. And yet still 2 assists and a goal. Last 2 goals, he's been intimately involved in each one.
So Ben O'Neill out of Charlottesville. We're not looking at him at the moment on the sideline. That's Chris Sanderson, who got the penalty, came way out of the goal to make a play, and then got a little too aggressive and got the push call. So Sanderson, who has been very strong, gave him the early lead with his great play. A little bit of a slip up there.
Well, it's only 1 goal, but you know what's interesting to me is that we've had a couple of muggings out here, and they called anything at all, and then they call a push on the goaltender.
10 saves for Sanderson on the day.
Played very well, though.
Talk about him. He's got a big Indian tattoo on his shoulder. This kid's a tough, tough kid. You see him in the locker room. He's ready to play. He's not scared of anything. He is here, and on certain days, he can definitely be as good as anybody.
And he is on the Canadian national team. Okay, he's been picked as one of the goalies on the Canadian national team to play in the World Game. So
he's not one of the goalies. He is the
goalie. Okay, he's the goalie.
He is the guy they are putting their hopes on to be tough in the defensive end of the field. So you will see him at the World Games in July.
I go back there. When I actually got married, I was on the team in 1974 in Australia, and I actually on my honeymoon went out there in 1990 to Australia, and now I'm going to go back down and see some friends during the World Games. So it'll be a great experience.
Well, don't go back to Australia during the World Games. They're all going to be here.
Now, we also have the Hall of Fame inductions during that weekend, which will be a great weekend.
Australia with a sensational 94 World Competition. They are really the second best team off that competition to the United States.
I think what hurts those teams, you got to play every day, and they don't play every day, and that hurts them when they play teams like the United States.
Vanderpool for Syracuse, looking to get a good shot. They're down by 2. They crawled back to make this a close game. They were down moments ago by 5. And they are coming back. Steele in front. Timmy Burns gets it and brings it back. Good hustle by Burns. Kataya starts behind. Burns comes back to get the ball, and he's stripped at the last minute by Davies.
You know, I like that was a nice little give and go.
Now here's a fast break started by Baruch. McKnight gets it down low. Right up ball, bounces it in.
You saw Leaf there, a classic fast break. That's what they want to do at Virginia. They come down, they set up the rotation, force the 3 defensemen to move, give it to that lower attackman, and Radabov gets his 3rd goal of the day. End-to-end action. This is a little mistake by Vanderpool. He should have gone for the ball. Get a fast break. That means 4 guys on 3. Defense sets up in a triangle. They throw it over to the up attackman, throw it to the guy, to Radabov, runs through the check, which is what he should do, and scores a nice goal and a bounce shot. A great play.
Tucker Radabov, a tremendous shooter, and he's had his chances today. 8-5. That one answers a 3-goal run for Syracuse, gives him that 3-goal cushion.
And you know what's great? I love a guy who shoots overhand and bounces the ball, and that's what Radabov does. He's got that classic style. Doesn't give a goalie much chance to move.
Syracuse pressuring. That's Matt Alexander, and Sanderson easily makes that save. He's looked very comfortable. Nothing that sensational, but he's making all the saves. Jason Gebhardt's had to stand on his head to make the saves he needs. He's made like Hall of Fame saves and has been pressed to do so.
You were talking about great goalies. What makes a great goalie to me, Leaf, is you always know the guy's going to play good. When he has to be excellent or great, he'll be great. The problem with the goalies in college now is a lot of them, they're so inconsistent. Gebhardt starts off slow, then has a couple great saves. Who's going to show up? That's the problem that a lot of coaches face right now.
Product of a lot of things, and not the least of which is a lot of great shooters, and about 6 guys on the field that can pin the corner at 100 miles an hour.
That's right.
And that is tough for anybody, any athlete. Back door to Jalbert, and he just didn't get a good pass.
Now, little thing, Jalbert went to the goal instead of to the ball net. He was drifted towards the goal. If he'd gone to the ball, caught it, turned and shot, he gets himself a goal.
Jalbert gets crossed up. His team leads by 3. Only 1:52, a little less than 2 minutes to go here in the first half.
It's been a nice clean half in terms of not many penalties, balls going up and down the field. There's only 1 penalty against Virginia. You saw how tough Syracuse was. They scored in about 10 seconds.
Up here at Hofstra University, a hotbed for lacrosse.
Just a wonderful stadium, too, to watch the game right now. Hofstra's done a great job of creating this atmosphere now for lacrosse and football.
Big shot again at the feet of Sanderson. He's making those saves look very easy.
They're not great shots. They're shooting from about 10 yards out. Sometimes they're telegraphing this. Sometimes has a chance to get out. He's a veteran. He knows what to look for.
David Jenkins comes down for Virginia. He's getting pushed out by the defense of Syracuse and Cordisco.
Now Virginia, I might call a timeout, Leaf, when it gets about 30 seconds to go. Set up some sort of play, try to draw a foul, or score a goal.
And right on cue, Virginia takes the timeout.
A little ahead of what I would have done it, but nevertheless.
Dom Stargio wants to get his team on the same page for that last 103. They want to do a very concerted team effort here to keep possession, get 1 shot. Hopefully they get the goal. And of course, the standard philosophy is, you know, we may or may not score, but one thing that won't happen is that Casey Powell and company will not score.
Exactly. What you don't want to do is give up a goal here more than score a goal, because you don't want momentum going into the period. We go back to the other quarterfinal game, we talked about Princeton and Duke. What happened in that game was Princeton was able to score 2 quick goals at the end and regain momentum. This is what Virginia does not want to happen with Syracuse. So I would think they'd hold it for as long as they could, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, then drive to the goal, either draw a foul or score a goal to get a good shot.
Dom Stargio took over for Ace Adams down the UVA program.
Ace, what a wonderful man. I think that he was the guy who never lost a game as a player. He never lost in high school, never lost in college. Must have got boring after a while.
I can't confirm that.
I think he was. I think I remember reading about that when he got in the Hall of Fame.
But this man, Dom Stargio, has had, as I mentioned, he has already got himself in the record books as one of the highest winning percentages in ACC history. Great track record. He's had trouble beating this team in white in the playoffs.
A lot of people have. They're going for a record now. One of the big records is I think Syracuse has made it to the Final Four 17 straight years. That's the record he's battling right here.
Syracuse knows how to play to another level in the playoffs. You see the time winding down. You'll see them be very patient, try to get their shot and get a 4-goal lead to take into the halftime. And our halftime will have stats highlights for you. We're going to peel Carl Reuter off the turf there. He's melted a little bit, but he's actually holding up pretty good down there. He's doing great. David Wren, big shot. He is a good one to give the shot to. He started off this game with 2 straight goals.
Nice play, too. He just missed the corner.
And he added 2 more after that. He's got 4 total. Jalbert slipping again. I wonder about the cleat selection. We've seen a lot of guys fall, and Bob, at halftime, I wonder if guys like Casey Powell might go to a deeper cleat.
I think so, because I think they are using like almost a sneaker.
And close to the shot in the goal. Did it count or not? It was right on the time. Right as the buzzer went off. It counts. Michael Leahy gives Virginia a 4-goal lead. That is not, I'm sure, exactly how Dom Star you had to pick, but that is perfect for Virginia.
You know something, you could diagram it better. You want to score with a second to go. You keep that momentum going in the second half because you know Syracuse is going to get their goals.
It could have been called either way. It was so close, but a 9-5. Take a look at the score.
Watch this. We'll look at the time. Now look how much you can do with 1 second to go. He gets the ball. He takes a shot. Ball was in the air. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit early, but tough to call in those seconds. Carl's down on the field with Coach Roy Simmons.
Roy Simmons Jr. at my side, and Coach, that one really has to hurt with no time on the clock.
I think the clock had run out, but you can't argue that point now. We haven't had a break all day, and they're not going to get it to it now. You know, it did hurt.
How much does the club have to raise its level of play in this second half now to come back from this 4-goal deficit?
Well, I tell the kids it's like a warm bath. You know, you don't jump in and then be frightened by being too hot or too cold. They're not making any calls out here, and I tell my kids if they're not going to make any calls and just step up the physicalness of the game, we got to hit a little harder. We got to shoot a little smarter. This is a very dead surface, and it's not a shooter's surface. We got to hit this goalie up high. He's done very well with the low shots, and that's what we've been doing, and we shouldn't be doing that. So we got to step up our shot selection second half and get to Sanderson as we have in the past.
All right, Coach, best of luck. Thanks for coming by. That's Roy Simmons Jr. You see, he's holding his composure. Now, can his team hold its composure and get back in the second half? We're back with more from Hofstra Stadium right after this timeout. Halftime of quarterfinal action. Right now, Virginia on top of Syracuse by the score of 9-5. And just moments ago, my halftime guest was honored here at Hofstra Stadium. Presentation made to the honorable judge, Ken Malloy, for his outstanding and long service to the game of lacrosse, a 3-time All-American at Syracuse University. And Mr. Malloy, what was that feeling like to be honored by a game that you have pretty much put your heart into?
Well, I think the important part of honoring anyone in this game is to create more of the tradition, which is growing and growing and growing, and that's what pleases me.
A lot of people might not know that Judge Malloy was instrumental in getting Jim Brown into Syracuse University, and we're talking about Jim Brown, the Cleveland Browns running back, who many think is the greatest lacrosse player of all time.
Well, he established that in the North-South game, and the Southern people would be the first to agree with that.
What about your alma mater right now? Taking it on the chin just a bit, but I'm sure Roy Simmons Jr. can get the troops back in it.
Don't sell them short. Syracuse is always great for coming back, and they have a great tradition.
Ken Malloy, how has the game changed since you were the 3-time All-American at Syracuse?
The game's changed by the zone of accuracy of the sticks. When I played, you would figure 2.5 to 3 feet. Now it's 6 inches. And of course, the surface, especially in the spring, the mud and even ice at times slowed the game down. This is a beautiful game. It's fast, it's quick, great athletes, and I'm glad to see the people enjoying it to such an extent.
Well, at least they were out here to see you honored today for your long, outstanding service to the game of lacrosse. Thanks very much, Ken Malloy.
My pleasure. Always good seeing you, Carl.
Okay, and we're back with more right after this. Joined by Bob Rule, the former All-American goalie from Cornell, and boy, oh boy, we're talking about a lot of goals, and I think Syracuse has seen a few goals that they wouldn't like to see on that side of the scoreboard for Virginia.
Well, let's look at what happened. Gebhardt's been hot and cold. In the beginning of the game, he wasn't stopping the ball. Then he made 3 or 4 sensational saves. The score right now could be 3 or 4 goals to Virginia's even more advantage right now. But don't count Syracuse out. They're so explosive that they could very well come back and score 4 goals in the first 2 minutes of the half to tie the game up. So they're a tough team. Don't count them out.
All right, let's take a look at the halftime numbers on the board. It is 9-5 in favor of Virginia. What's outstanding to you, Bob Rule?
Okay, if I look right there, face-offs won, where Syracuse won 10-5, but didn't take advantage of it. Virginia's being done everything but shots. Virginia's shots have simply been more accurate. They've been on cage more, and that's resulted in more goals.
All right, it was a 7-3 goal, and then all of a sudden it was 8-5. We had seconds left in the first half, and bang, Virginia puts one in with no time left.
This could come in to haunt them because really the ball is going to go through the plane of the goal before the period ends, and it clearly appears that the ball was not by the goalie. That this goal might come back to haunt them. Great play by Virginia, though, to let that time go down and then try a scoring play with 10 seconds to go. A terrific play.
17 years in a row that the Syracuse Orangemen have been in the Final Four. Speaking of 4, that's what they need to come back. They're down 9-5 at the break.
Back at Hofstra, the third quarter face-off underway for third quarter action. 9-5 the score. Virginia with that 4-goal lead. And the 9th goal came as the time expired at the end of the second quarter. Roy Simmons saying maybe not legal. Hard to tell. Fast shot coming at the last moment. Casey Powell starts the third quarter by immediately going to the goal. Sanderson starts back in the goal, as you would imagine. He had a very nice first half. Gebhardt for Syracuse is back in the goal, and he came on like gangbusters. John Desco and Roy Simmons, our Carl Reuter right behind him.
What I like about that, too, is watch Sanderson did not give the far pipe up. I mean, didn't give the short side up then. Forced Casey Powell to shoot to the far pipe, and he was wide.
Bob Roll almost falling over with his cross.
I've run up 4 flights of stairs 4 times today.
Oh, Bob, you forgot your jacket. Would you go back and get it? Syracuse now pushing the ball out front. They're looking to get McIntyre open. McIntyre working against Doug Davies. Oh, tried to find Vanderpool, and he's saying, where were you? Where were you?
You know,
look at the ball. Step up.
It really looked like Vanderpool just wasn't ready for the pass. It wasn't a great pass, and he made the right play. If you get the long stick on you, what you want to do is give it to someone with a short stick.
And Vanderpool was that man, so Kataya.
And again, people not familiar with the game, the defensive players use a longer shaft because it's easy to check with. So you want to avoid that if you can, if you're playing offense.
4-goal lead for Virginia. They've really, the surprise here again is 9 goals for Virginia. We thought each team would be around that. The big surprise is that the defense for Syracuse, or the defense for Virginia rather, has been really holding down the great offensive stars of Syracuse. Shot in close, and Virginia gets another one. This time, Drew Malchione, the senior from Garden City, makes the local crowd happy. He has a few fans here, I'm sure.
Drew Malchione, what nice little give and go. Got the ball behind, cut behind this man, caught the ball, and there's not much Gebhardt could do against that shot. But this is an example, 2 goals in the last 2 minutes. Now watch this, little give and go, bang, shoots high to the right side against Gebhardt, which is a good shot. The problem that Syracuse faces is funny, it's that momentum. There it is, there's the goal. That momentum that they don't have because they gave up that goal with a second to go. Little things like that will come back to haunt them.
20th goal of the season, and Virginia has scored first in each quarter so far, Bob.
Yeah.
They get this face-off as they drive the ball down. Jason Hart loses the ball, and here comes Syracuse, picked up. Joe Caglia picks it up and gives it off to the wing. This is Jeff Lowe trying to get open. Virginia not letting Syracuse get very comfortable in the offensive end of the field. They're playing pretty toe-to-toe defense.
Pretty aggressive defense. You can see right now he's out beyond the box playing Ryan Powell, so they never get a chance to get their offense to flow.
Casey has a nice pick there, and it was Casey Powell's pick for brother Ryan that set him free.
Let's give Casey Powell a half an assist on that one. Nice play, but where was the backup? I didn't see where Virginia backed up on that when the man got picked off.
Well, Leachman is over there just going crazy with the referee saying it was a moving pick. Let's take a look.
Now watch this. He comes around. Let's see if he does set a moving pick. I don't think it was a moving pick. Right there, he shoots a good low bounce shot. Nobody picked up on it.
Well, Casey stepped out a little bit, but good play for the Powell brothers. And they answer Melchione's goal. Now back to a 4-goal margin for Virginia. Again, they control the faceoffs.
And the problem is, though, Syracuse needs a spurt. They can't trade goals now or they lose.
They have to have a run. If they're going to get back into it at some point, they'll have to have a 4-goal run just to tie.
44.
Or a 4-goal advantage, obviously, at some point. Virginia driving in, Tucker Rada ball. J.J. Albert behind the goal. That redirected shot beats Gebhardt. It's David Baruch.
David Baruch, not a great shot, although it had some movement on it by throwing the ball in front. But Gebhardt, it's all or nothing. He's making sensational saves, or not making the saves I really think he should make, and that was one he should make. Now watch this. Tucker Radabaugh throws to the middle of the field. He's about 15 yards out. Gebhardt never reacted well to the ball. Didn't get his stick down.
You think maybe he doesn't like that end of the field?
I don't know.
First quarter, he didn't have a very good quarter down there. Second quarter, when they switched, he was very, very good. Jason Denneker, number 34 for Syracuse, facing off now with Jason Hard for Virginia.
But Virginia's really controlling face-offs now. They're doing everything right.
Melchione, he's got the corner. Beautiful shot by Melchione in the corner. He's got 2 of the 3 goals to start this half off. And 12-6, Virginia very comfortably in front.
We're having a goalie change. Okay, Gebhardt is out. Let's see, Rob Mulligan. Okay, Rob Mulligan, a Farmingdale product, is coming in. Okay, here we go. Watch this. Good shot, though. I mean, upper right-hand corner, but Gebhardt's lost his confidence. Good goaltender if he's lost his confidence. Watch this. Good shot, the upper right-hand corner.
And Bob, that's 2 goals in 10 seconds.
Remember I said, if you're down by 2 goals, you're within 10 seconds of tying it up. And that's what can happen in lacrosse.
Syracuse trying to get possession on the far side, and they finally do. See if they can get some offense going on their end.
I don't know, why does it come around?
Well, Matt Alexander heard you. Here he comes around, and he just buries it high. Now, don't forget, halftime interview, Carl Reuter. You were walking downstairs, I believe. But Coach Roy Simmons said, we got to quit shooting low on Sanderson. We got to go top shelf. We got to go high, and that's exactly why that shot was successful.
You know, I think it snuck in. Watch Alexander. It comes around. No one picks him up. He doesn't even realize it for a minute. Then he starts coming around. I think he beats him on the inside. He does. He beat him on the inside corner. That's not where, as a goalie, you want to be. Force the guy to shoot to the far side. It's a tougher shot. He beat him off, I think it was between his head and the post.
Well, how about 5 goals in 3 minutes to start the second half?
This is what we expected. I think if you start translating that, you're going to need a calculator. How many goals have you scored?
Well, we've had 4 goals in 48 seconds. We've got a crew of 62 statisticians that come with Bob Rule, and we know exactly how many.
Now, notice too, Mulligan's a left hand, another lefty in the goal. A Farmingdale product. He was a great goalie. I think he was a high school All-American. Farmdale High School.
Good-sized kid.
Yep.
He's listed as, well, here they only say 5'10". He looks like he's standing taller than that. So Mulligan takes over the goal duties. Wren has been testing people all day. Gilbert tries to get out in front. Easy pickup by the goalie, Mulligan. Off to the wing. The sun going down a little bit. Is that going to be any factor later in the day on this field? Well,
this field's not bad because the sun goes this way, and you know, he's going left to right, so it doesn't make as much of a difference if it would if the field was set up a little bit differently.
5-goal separation for these two teams. Virginia way out in front.
Other things, people not familiar with the game, in that circle, the goalie makes a save. He's got 4 seconds to either throw it or get out of there, but no offensive player can touch him while he's in there. It's your home. If you're a goalie, that's your home. Stay there.
Off to the wing. Syracuse takes a rocket shot from the near side. Berdisco from Woodbine, Maryland.
And a shot high to the right-hand side on lefty goalie. That was a good shot high.
Well, goalie's not starting off very hot in this third quarter. They're getting rattled. 12-8 the score. A 4-goal difference.
Now watch this. He'll get the ball. Watch this good feed. Here it comes. Good feed. Takes plenty of time. Shoots high to the right-hand side. Very good shot by Cadisco, but the play's really made by Matt Gioni giving him the ball quickly. There it is. Watch this. Bang. He's got plenty of time to wind up. Virginia was a little slow in sliding.
And Bob, you notice that early in the game they were shooting low. Again, they shot high and scored.
Exactly.
Casey Powell on the wing.
On the wing in the face-up. They need the ball. They know it. They can't match goals. They've got to have a spurt here.
And Ryan Curtis is staying right with them. So Ryan Curtis started on the wing. It's Curtis and Powell. Casey Powell wheels and spins that one out of bounds. And Sanderson, it's funny, the 2 backup guys were so spread that it was Sanderson who gets the possession.
You know, and that's what drives coaches crazy. You really need a backup on that. You lose the ball on a shot like that's not right.
His brother was a little bit high on the pipe because he wanted to get the feed and was left trailing Sanderson.
And really, the weak side attacker's got to rotate behind them to help out. I can understand where you're there for the backup on the far pipe. The guy on this side of the goal should have gone behind.
Hanley Holcomb brings the ball down, gets it over to his teammate, Oki. That was an equipment timeout, just a few seconds, I think, to get a chin strap button. Oki. For space, gets it down low. Here comes Virginia in close, and Mulligan makes a great save.
Good save by Mulligan. He guessed low, went low, and that's what the guy did. That's what a good shooter does.
Holcomb did a nice job, Bob. Holcomb did a great job of driving inside, getting position, and look at the save by Virginia's Oki. He knocks it out of bounds, but that is about as solid as effort. He just launches himself to make the block.
And you know what's nice? Stops a potential fast break for Syracuse.
What a gamble, though, Bob. If he doesn't make that,
it's all or nothing. Yep. But nice save by Mulligan. He anticipated a little bit. Guy faked tie, went low, and Mulligan was there to make the save.
So they'll try to clear the ball. The new goalie Mulligan, he's been tested with a pretty good shot and come up big.
And that's so important. You make that first save for your confidence.
4 goals down. Here comes Syracuse. Driving hard and looking for help is Matthews. Kataya works the ball behind, and he gets the defensive checks of strong defense of Doug Davies. Davies against Kataya. Kataya pushing in, gets a double team. Ball goes behind the goal. The far side crowd reacted as if it was a good goal, but it was not, as you can tell. You had a better angle than the far side fans.
Now that was again, offensive player in the cage, in the crease rather. Therefore, they don't get a chance to. Therefore, Virginia gets the ball back.
Assistant coaches for Virginia getting the team in and out. Most of these teams try to keep some of their great players along to help out the coaching staff as Jay Jalbert comes in out to David Wren.
What's nice is you get a fellowship, so you can go to school, get your master's degree, and help coach out. Coach, so the school benefits both ways. You get a good student in there, and they still have someone helping out.
And of course, now you can make as much as you want.
And now, I know, I'd like to be involved in that. So that little piece of that big pie.
Virginia working the backside. It starts with Drew McKnight, goes to the far side. It's Tucker Rada ball and picked up by Michael Leahy. Leahy, they moved the ball beautifully. Virginia getting a lot of people involved. Melchioni. Virginia's size, Bob, is the kind of size athletes. They're not going to really overpower anybody. They need to move the ball. Jalbert, the biggest of the bunch.
Exactly, and that's what they're doing so well. They're moving the ball, taking advantage of any Syracuse mistake to get open on the crease, finding the seam, doing all the stuff that they should be doing.
I say that, and I look at the stats. David Wren, of course, he's got a bunch of goals. 4 today, 6-2. There's a great shot in close by Virginia. They're waving it off. Crease violation. It would have been goal 13, but it is not. The defense, look at Mulligan. He is pumped. He came out and signaled other direction, folks.
And Mulligan came out and hammered Jalbert, which I used to love to do as a goaltender, get back to those attackers that shoot at you a little bit. The one thing I didn't like that Mulligan did, though, watch this now. Mulligan goes with his stick low. Go with your stick high. Watch him. See how his stick is low? He goes high with his stick on stick. Jalbert never gets a chance to score. A little thing like that for goalies. Go stick on stick and then drive your body through him.
Crease violation. Was that on Jalbert or an off player? Because he didn't look like he was anywhere near the crease.
I didn't see other player around the crease, so.
7:29 left, third quarter. 12-8 the score. Lee Dalsno, Bob Rule, and a steaming hot Carl Royer on the sideline. Syracuse down by 4, tries to get it in close. Sanderson, easy pickup. Nice double team. You just saw one offense. Virginia move the ball beautifully. You saw Syracuse come down time again, go to the one-on-one.
Exactly, and always the side of the goal where they're really ready, the guy's ready to double. If you come out of your dodge to the lefty, you can't get to the far pipe. You want to come out of your dodge as a righty and go far pipe. Sanderson's up in the corner, not giving him a good shot.
Davies clears. Baruch gets it back to Rada ball, and then he goes far side. First base in there, Jamie Leachman. McKnight has been in the game the whole way. Again, statistics will show that he's really the glue. You know, late in the season, he had a game against Maryland. There's a big shot behind the goal. McKnight had 5 assists in the big ACC game. Well, they started focusing on the next day. Next game, he had 5 goals. I mean, the guy can do it all. Very tough to control on that end of the field. Glatzel.
Well, that's what we're talking about. Virginia comes in here really tournament hard. They played 3 of our top teams. They played Maryland, they played North Carolina, they played Duke in the ACC, and that toughens them up for a tournament now. I think that's hurting Syracuse a little bit right now.
The only thing in this game that they haven't seen, watch this, McKnight.
Good play.
Drew McKnight does a great job. They work it from the one side to the far side, and once McKnight got it, it was all his faking and all the reaction of goalie Mulligan. Good job. 13-8. They're back up by 5. A lot of time left. Five goals to make up for Syracuse against a team in Virginia that's been ahead the whole game. Bob, they opened up strong. 2 goals by Wren. Never have looked back.
You know, last year when I saw UMass, I saw the UMass-Syracuse game. I'll tell you, they were not that they were lucky to beat UMass, but UMass was not nearly the team Virginia was. They beat them 10-8. It's like they had to get their legs again playing tough competition. Well, this time they're playing a Virginia team that's far superior to UMass last year, and they haven't stayed with them.
Well, when they beat them earlier this season, Virginia had 17 goals. And the reason they beat them is because they had 18.
In overtime.
So you better start getting the scoring end of the field going if you want to have a chance on this one. Virginia looking away. What a great shot by Melchione. It was a look-away shot, Bob. He had everybody fooled, including goalie Mulligan.
He fooled me because I thought he was passing to number 5. He was giving the ball to Jamie Leachman, and it distracted Mulligan. The ball went by him.
Rob Mulligan just got burned on that one from way out front by Melchione. It's been his quarter.
Now here's Mulligan. Watch this good move. He drives hard. And I think he's passing the ball, but it might have been a shot. I don't know, but Leachman got in the way and distracted Mulligan. That was it.
I agree. It could have been a pass.
Yep.
It was hard to tell because he wasn't really looking at it. It looked like he saw a guy cutting across the crease.
Exactly.
Tried to hit him. A little off-speed number. A little bit of a screen on Mulligan.
Yeah,
and the ball goes in.
And as a goalie, you get easily distracted. You're looking, is that a pass or is it a shot? You set yourself up. It suddenly goes by the guy.
Well, Melchione's focus was dead in front of him. The shot went to his left.
And now you've got Casey Powell out there playing midfield, because they've got to get the ball.
Well, he started off on the midfield wing, and this is the downside of putting him on the faceoff. Now he's got to play some D. But you'll see him go in transition. He's already way back. Look at Casey Powell. He's way to the left. If they got the ball back, he's off to a fast break.
Exactly.
That's what they want.
It's almost like they're setting up a man-down situation, hoping to get the ball quick.
Carl Reuters on the sideline. Carl, what's going on down there?
All right, Leaf, moments ago when the goal was disallowed, somehow Jay Jalbert, number 10 for Virginia, took a stick underneath that face mask, and he's got a pretty bad cut on the right side of his chin. Apparently they're going to stitch it up and hopefully get him back into action, but it's a pretty nasty cut right now that they're working on. Back upstairs.
And it makes him wish he shaved before the game. Tough kid, Jay Jalbert. Probably see action again right now under 5 minutes. This team's up by 6, and they've got a power play, an extra man play rather. It's 6 against 5.
That happened though, I think when Mulligan hammered him in the crease.
Well, you're probably right. It was a great hit.
I like goalies who hit because they then respect your territory.
Melchione, ready to ball. A blazing shot picked up by Mulligan. I thought he's looked pretty solid in there, this Mulligan kid.
Yep, that was a good save. Oh my goodness, what's he
Tries to get it up to Casey Powell. He does.
That's not by direction. That was lucky.
Casey Powell bringing the ball in behind the back.
That's the Powell we know.
Circus time. Well, Mulligan got lucky. He's on the other side. He's a real cheerleader. Mulligan is dancing around the field. He tried to hit a player in between Casey Powell and him. It squirted through, and luckily, Casey Powell's the guy who picked it up.
Powell picks it up with that backhand, that patented backhand shot that started with the Gate brothers at Syracuse. Now watch this. He really kind of cheaps the ball just off of Virginia's stick. Here comes Powell. Powell makes a nice little dodge, but he's gone by the goal now. He's too far behind the goal. He flips that backhand shot and scores. A great play by Casey Powell.
Yeah, that's not really a flip. It's about, I mean, it's kind of
that's like a driving shot.
Kind of a 72-mile-an-hour flip.
And he goes to the all-time point leader with 28 3-points.
And with that score, all-time leader, look at that. And he's beating a guy named Gary Gate, folks. That the number 22 has been fabled in the at the University of Syracuse since Gary Gate put it on. After him, you had a guy named Charlie Lockwood to pick it up.
Great midfielder.
And it was challenged really by Roy Simmons. He said, "Look, if you have any guts, you'll pick up that number 22 and put it on." They don't retire the jersey. And Lockwood went home and said, "Let me think about it." And he goes home and he thought about it. And he came back and put it on and became an All-American for 4 years. He takes it off. Casey Powell puts it on.
He's also a member of the USA team, right?
He is a member of the USA team.
There's the pipe.
Pipe shot. They beat Sanderson, but the ball comes back out. There are 5 goals down to Virginia. And good hit on Virginia's Jamie Leachman. Gives it back to Ira Vanterpool. Pretty double team on the side. You've got Ruby Knight coming up. Dom Stargio wants, well, what are we doing here? Maybe he wants a clarification. They're looking for distance. I guess they want the 5 yards on Vanterpool. For Mulligan now. Mulligan will clear. He's got somebody near side. Comes right toward the cameras. And here they go. Get it into Casey Powell's stick. Curtis. Challenge. Curtis beat. Powell's all by himself. Wear the white jerseys. There were 4 players on Powell. Somebody's got to be open. Unbelievable. Bob, there were 4 players playing him. Where were all the white jerseys?
Oh. Great ball movement. You're right. Where were they?
Showtime. I tell you, everybody was backing up Ryan Curtis. And it was as if the Syracuse players were watching the show.
Disappeared.
Oh, they're watching the show. It's a great show, but holy smokes, you got to get down there and get an easy shot. Curtis now back on Casey Powell as Kataya comes in with a tough one-on-one move against Doug Davies. Back door, they can't get the shot off as Syracuse tries to get Anceloni. Big check ball comes back into Ira Vanderpool. 3:12 left, still a 5-goal lead for Virginia. Powell the last to score in this game. Watch out, here he is again. Casey Powell gets checked. Beautiful slide. Took that shot away from Casey Powell.
He could be hurt.
Penn Leachman just leveled him. He'll be back up. Casey Powell has had that hit time and time and time again. Powell gets double teamed every day.
He's looking for the ball. That's what a great player does. Double team and good hit. Ooh. Boy, that was a little enthusiastic up in the head area.
And you saw what a great angle that was because you saw Leachman just parked and waiting. Casey Powell comes out for a moment. This is the only thing, number 22, that Virginia hasn't seen. You talk about their great schedule. They've seen it all. They've seen great scores, great scoring teams, great defenses. You just can't plan for a guy like Casey Powell because there isn't anybody else like Casey Powell.
It's like planning for Michael Jordan. He does so many things that really are amazing.
That one's Ryan Powell. The brother steps up and says, "You hurt my brother, I'll hurt you." 4 goals. That's what separates these two teams. Ryan Powell taking things into his own.
Now watch him just drive around his defenseman. Sheer power. Good face dodge and bang. Shoots nice and low. Sanderson didn't have much of a shot on that chance on that goal. Problem with Virginia right now, I think they're starting to lose momentum a little bit. They're trying to play not to lose, which is a mistake.
Well, also you might say that Syracuse is playing with like their own chance to win.
Yeah, exactly.
They've really taken the ball. They've really taken the ball the last couple minutes where they haven't done that before.
Yeah, I think you're right. Also, Mulligan stepped in and has nice outlet passes.
Has made a nice job of blocking some shots. Ryan Powell now taking over with his brother's absence. Powell in close. The goalie came out. He was all by himself.
He comes again.
Now he comes in and Ryan Powell scores. They're back to within 3. After the hit on Casey Powell, brother Ryan takes over and scores 2 in a row, 4 on the game. It's been a Powell brother hat trick the last 3 goals.
Now watch this. Great move. He comes around, beats his defenseman. Goalie comes out, but he doesn't quit. And the defensemen are both in the goal. And bang, he just beats Sanderson high. Notice it too. Sanderson's been beaten high virtually every time. Good play by Sanderson, actually, to force him behind the goal, but the defensemen don't take over and play him after that.
Back to live action. Here comes McKnight. Watch out, gives it off to Melchione. He'll have some space, and Mulligan makes a big block high.
Good save, but he shot high to his left side. Shoot high to his right, that might be a goal.
Well, you can't say Virginia doesn't know how to shoot against a left-handed goalie because they practice against one every day. So against Virginia, technical foul goes to Syracuse. You talk about the big momentum. Well, the Orangemen got it. A lot of orange up in the stands here at Hofstra. How about Mulligan? Is he a cheerleader or what? You know, Bob, on that end of the field, you can really infect a team with a lot of energy by getting a guy who's a cheerleader in the goal.
You know, the thing is,
I mean, you have all that downtime in the goal. Why not be a cheerleader?
Why not? The other thing is, the goalie's really like a quarterback. The enthusiasm and confidence that he can give to his defense becomes infectious. And that's just what's happening with Mulligan. They know they can score against these guys. They've done it in the past. They just don't want to run out of time. That's what they have to face. See, Casey Powell is back also in his usual spot.
1:55 left in the third. 3 goals separate. This is an extra man play. Backdoor! Casey Powell! The Pals! 4 straight goals. This is a ball game. 2 goals separate them. 14-12 is the score with 1:51 left in the third.
Watch this extra man. It's a textbook of how you feed a man. Okay, Ryan Powell gets it out to Ted. He's got the ball. Look at him cut and catch the ball. Where's the defenseman? He got that little seam and caught the ball and scored.
Well, the amazing thing is, Bob, that pass came across the whole man down.
Exactly.
I mean, that is really what you don't want. You might score a lot of ways, but you don't want them to be able to skip a defensive player. You can't pass over the defense.
And the interesting thing is, what kind of concentration does Casey Powell have to pick that ball out through a sea of sticks right on the goal mouth, catch it, and then put the ball in the goal? That's
Powell
tremendous concentration.
Well, he's got all the tools. He's playing against Ryan Curtis, who, for the most part, has done a pretty good job. But you give him a chance to finish one, he will finish. And that's what the Powell boys have done. They've scored 4 straight. Casey 2, Ryan 2.
I think that's why Coach Simmons is always so calm. Even though he's down by 6 goals, he knows these guys can come back.
Tremendous will to win, a superstar. They all have a will to win. All these players are exceptional when you get to this level. But you got to go up one more notch for a guy like Casey Powell. All-time leading scorer at Syracuse, folks, and that is beating the original number 22, Gary Gay.
Final minute of the 3rd period.
Syracuse has controlled the ball for big chunks of time in the last part of the 3rd quarter.
And here's the key right here, I think. Ryan Powell has really stepped up.
He's going past Leishman and got a little stick check to take away that shot.
A good hard shot he would have had.
So Virginia dodges a little bit of a bullet there. The Orangemen, 4-goal run, but now Virginia has a chance to end the quarter with some offense of their own. See the clock winding down in the 3rd. Ball sets up against the defense of Syracuse's Josh Rule. Out front, Wren gets tied up. Wren looking for a holding call against.
And they got a handball. They actually touched it. You cannot touch a lacrosse ball with your hand other than the goaltender, who can bat it away. Can't put his hand around it. And that's what happened there. They got him with a handball.
Goaltenders obviously getting way too much leeway.
No way. They should make their sticks 5 feet wide.
I'm sure that's on the design table. Here goes Syracuse with 4 seconds left. They won't have time to shoot unless they, barely missed that one. Almost got a shot off to end the 3rd quarter, but it was dramatic for Syracuse. The last 5 minutes, they took over. And it was 4 goals by the Powell brothers in about 4.5 minutes to make it a 14-12 game. How about back for the final 15? We're back at Hofstra. This game has really turned into everything we thought it would be. 14-12 the score right now. 2-goal lead for Virginia. Hey, what are you doing in July? You want to see the best players in the world go head-to-head? Well, you can. The International Lacrosse Federation World Championships, commonly known as the World Games. They only happen once every 4 years. They haven't happened in the United States since 1982. And I hate to tell you, but I announced those a long time ago, folks. July 15th and 25th, I'll be doing the games this year as well for TV, but they're at Johns Hopkins Homewood Field. Call 1-888-98-CHAMP and get all the ticket information. This is a chance of a lifetime to enjoy lacrosse on an international scale. Carl Reuter.
All right, Leaf, the medical update on Jay Jalbert, number 10 for the Cavaliers. They put what they call steri strips right on his chin to close the wound. They're going to stitch it up after the game, but they went with the steri strip to get him back out into action right away. Back upstairs.
All right, we're going to continue this quarter. I'm going to start the quarter with an apology. Tim O'Hare, you're the man. I kept saying Gary Gay. Gary Gay leads in goals. Nobody will probably ever beat that, but 282 was the Tim O'Hare point total. Tremendous player from 77 to 80. Tim O'Hare was the O'Hara. Man, wake up, Lee. Tim O'Hara was the player that was beaten by Casey Powell to take over the point total lead. Now, back to the game right here. This is the quarterfinals for 1998, and this one is really getting tense. The winner advances to Rutgers in the semis.
And right now, what Virginia's desperately trying to do is get some momentum back. Right now, they've lost the momentum, and they're starting to say to themselves, what's going to happen? When's Syracuse going to tie it up? They've got to get some confidence, momentum back.
Yeah, Virginia now, McKnight coming in. Diving play gives him a chance to get the ball over to the side, and it was a bad pass past Rada Ball that takes it out of bounds. And that's that confidence level you're talking about.
Confidence, fatigue, they're tired. They've seen the momentum shift a little bit. They know what happened in the game early in the season. That's got to be in the back of their minds.
Tom Starchy is saying, what was that, folks? What play was that? Mulligan, big story there, a lot of mini stories. The goalie, number 13, bringing the ball up. He replaced Gebhardt and really kind of solidified the defensive end as Casey Powell and Ryan started to take over. Here comes Syracuse. Big shot and a goal. That one by Tim Burns.
Just outright beat his defensive player down the field, no backup. What a difference in terms defensively. You've got to back up when a big midfielder comes down.
Looks like nobody really got settled in the middle of the field there.
Yeah, nobody picked up men. Now watch. Mulligan gets a good pass, okay, and here he comes. Nobody picks him up. They're looking, they got their signals crossed.
Well, I'll tell you
just dodges, nobody came back to help out.
Well, David Baruch was right there, but he was playing him as a right-hander.
As a right-hander, he went lefty, yeah.
He was overplaying the right hand, waiting for him to drive that way, and then didn't really get his feet.
Yep.
Syracuse, another goal, 5 straight, 14-13. Bob, we talked about the run that had to happen if Syracuse was going to get into the game. Well, they've made that run.
And it starts with this guy right here, Casey Powell, inflaming Syracuse, getting 2 quick goals in the third quarter to get them going again.
Ball down now. This is the way they'll end the game if it doesn't go to overtime, with Syracuse attacking the goal to your right.
In your lead, 14-13.
Casey Powell picks it up. Ryan Curtis going way out. Casey Powell backs him out to make sure there's no backing, and then goes one-on-one with Curtis. Curtis, throw check. And look at the double coming well in front of the play. Bob, they double when he's about halfway to the goal. I think that's what you got to do against Powell. They're figuring he's going to beat one guy, and they're just sending the second guy right away.
Exactly. The only thing is you've got to make sure the second backer comes to take over the man who backed up. What happened then is they had a good shot because the second man didn't come.
Disco gives it to the wing. And back in with Ryan Powell. Leach was really locking in on this. Ryan Powell doing a great job of taking the pressure of Leach. He's in close and just misses the goal. He was shoved into the crease, but they called a crease violation.
Crease violation.
It looked like he was hammered into the crease.
Well, we've seen a couple of interesting
And that's
plays
what he's asking the referees. How could I have not gone to the crease?
Because they did hammer him pretty good. I would have called push without possession, giving it back to them.
Well, you guys be the judge. Take a look at this play.
All right, Casey Powell just working his man, and he really beat him, and then gets hammered into the crease.
I mean, he was launched by Jason Hart. Melchione, solid player who's had a really good second half.
Give you an idea, too. He's from Garden City High School. The other kid he played with, Mike Ferrucci, was a player of the year in the Ivy League. Tim Blisker here plays for Syracuse. A lot of great players on the team he played in high school. And Chris Massey on Princeton. All played with Melchione. That was some team they had when they were back at Garden City. I think they won the state championship.
A lot of talent there. Virginia now, this is Gilbert. We haven't heard from him for a while. He's a guy who can take over, takes the shot, and gets it behind Mulligan, but no goal. Well, he got just a piece of it. Beautiful job by Mulligan.
Nice play by Wren if he gets the ball back.
Abrams gets wrapped up by Wren, and the ball finally picked up. Push call goes back to UVA.
You know what's coming right now, Leaf? I always call it the fourth quarter on a hot day in the playoffs. It's a war. Right now, you're in a war right now. There should be nothing left. You should be spent at the end of this game. If you're not, there's something wrong. And these guys right now are really playing their hearts out.
Next time out, Bob will send you up and down those stairs one more time so you get into the spirit.
That's a war for me.
Virginia, Melchione. Late in the afternoon at Hofstra, 11:27 left. This has really taken some of the heat off the AstroTurf, and these guys are really enjoying, as great athletes do, The great competition, a one-goal game. For all that Syracuse has done in the last few moments, Virginia still, of course, leads by 1. And all they have to do is maintain that to advance.
Now they've got a long stick on Wren.
Wren comes in, bounces it well in front of the goal, and Mulligan has looked very strong.
Very strong, but not a great shot. You know why? The long stick had a stick in front of Wren, and Wren never got a good shot off. They're smart now. They're taking Wren and cutting him off from the ball, or if he gets it, they're making sure that he doesn't get a good shot off.
Coming down the field, Syracuse just pulling back. Plenty of time left in the fourth quarter. Quarterfinal action with Syracuse and White driving into the goal, looking for help out front. Got it. Big shot, and there's a goal to tie the game. Beautiful job by Syracuse, and it's number 20, John Matthews.
And as Coach Simmons said, they're starting to beat Sanderson high. Again, they beat him high.
Another New York kid making a big factor.
Okay, John Matthews out turns, good feed. Matthews got time to set up and beats him to the far side. Good shot. Look at that enthusiasm.
Syracuse has climbed back into this one. They've scored 6 straight goals. They've tied it at 14, but plenty of time left. Come back to Hofstra. Back at Hofstra, the Syracuse sideline, Roy Simmons happy now because he's in the driver's seat. He's had a tremendous run, Bob Rule. He's had 6 goals straight. He's got the game's best player and a tie game, so things are going pretty good.
You know, it's the first time I've seen him smile, but look at that. I don't see him any more enthusiastic or whatever than when he was losing by 6 goals. Gives you that look. He's not what's going on there.
He's not a goalie, Bob. He's an artist. He's an artist.
He's an artist, that's true.
And he sees things from a bigger view. Here comes Syracuse in the face-off. Long stick brings it in. Watch out, this will be a game winner.
Ooh, good
Not
save.
a game winner, but that could have given him the lead. And an excellent save by Sanderson, yes.
He went high and said, as we were talking before, the Pals between them have 7 goals. That's what they mean to the Syracuse team. Casey with 3 and Ryan with 4.
Syracuse has never led in this game. Gage Albert now controlling things. Pressing in on the defense of Syracuse, and their defenseman Kevin Sheedy. Oh, they tried to get after the wing, but it was really sniffed out beautifully by Syracuse. Nice play as they generate an offense from that tremendous defensive play. Matt Alexander just saw the pass coming and stepped up to pick it off.
And you know, a little bit that's fatigue too, Leaf. He kind of made him up in his mind to throw it, even when he knew the guy might be covered.
He's in a great spot to shoot, I'll tell you that. He was passing it to a pretty weak spot. Inside, watch out, Kataya gives Syracuse the first lead of the game.
You know, it's from Casey Powell. Powell comes out of a dodge, finds the guy, and scores a goal. It starts with Powell. Everybody's got a double Powell. They so fear him that it opens up other avenues. Kataya was wide open on that play, gets the ball and scores.
The Orange bring a lot of great fans.
Here we go. Now watch this.
Cheering on.
There's Powell with the ball. You gotta respect him. Here comes the double. Watch Powell hit the guy real quick. Bang! Kataya scores.
Well, how easy is that? 3 players are on Casey Powell. All he has to do is give it up. I say all he has to do, but that is what he does beautifully.
That's what makes him so great. He found the open man. It's so hard to do for a lot of regular players.
Face off, back to Mulligan. Look at Mulligan.
Maybe Mulligan a little too fancy then.
Mulligan way too fancy. Are you kidding me? Here's the first lead of the game, and he's throwing it behind his back out of bounds.
You know, the funny thing is that's what Syracuse does.
But you know what? Roy Simmons won't say one word about that.
Yeah, not a word.
His philosophy is, look, that's probably the biggest moment in lacrosse the guy's ever had.
Yeah.
And he gives them the opportunity to enjoy the moment.
Roy is an artist.
Rada ball tries to get it to Wren, but look at the defense stepping up for Syracuse now. Pushing upfield, Beglia. And here goes a fast break. Jeff Lowe. Lowe coming in. Pushed out beautifully by the defensive Curtis, who's caught down the other end. Whoa! Curtis had to step up off of Powell to stop the fast break, and Sanderson makes a real nice block.
You know what happened? Lowe never got rid of the ball. He could have given it to an attack, and then run a little give and go.
So two bad decisions, one by Mulligan, one by Lowe on the fast break. They come up with goose eggs in front. Oh, 0 goals in the last 12-25. Now Virginia was ahead the whole game and then really hit a scoring drought here. Mulligan, a catalyst for that.
Mulligan comes in, makes a couple of nice saves, but pumps them up and makes them more confident.
Red goes all over to Rada ball.
Good player in high school, though. He was a high school All-American here at Farmingdale High School, played a couple Nassau County championships, so he knows what it's like to play in the pressure.
Are you kidding me? Playing in front of his home crowd here at Hofstra, basically. He loves it. Fast break going out. They're trying to get it going. This is Suffarelli. He'll take a shot, and he gets the far part. 2-goal lead for the Syracuse Orangemen.
Transition is death for teams that play Syracuse, and that's what happened then.
I think it was Timmy Burns. I can hardly tell the 21s to the 27s. 21, Timmy Burns.
Tim Burns. No, 27.
27. That was.
You're right, Suffarelli. Now watch this. It starts with Mulligan getting the ball and feeding right there, feeding Suffarelli right away.
This guy has no goals in the season at this point.
Here he goes. They never really pick him up, and he takes a good, hard shot to the right side. Watch him coming down. No one really picks him up. He takes a good, hard bounce shot to the far side.
Well, sophomore from Freeport, New York. Went to Baldwin. A lot of hero stories being built here in front of the Long Island crowd. Timeout called by Syracuse, but how about this run? 8 straight goals to give them the 16-14 lead. They were down 14-10, Bob Roll, and they lead by 2.
Momentum, all the little things we talk about, giving up penalties, slowing the game down, playing not to lose. All these things are kind of happening to Virginia. And that here we go again thing, when Powell scores a couple of quick goals, suddenly Virginia gets a little deflated, lose their confidence.
At Virginia earlier this season, they were down by 4. They came back to win. Carl Reuters on the sideline.
Leaf, Bob, let's go back to halftime when we were talking to Roy Simmons Jr., trailing 9-5. A goal had just been scored with no time left on the clock by Virginia. He wasn't emotional. He wasn't angry. He wasn't upset. He held his composure. Obviously, his players have taken a big, big page out of Roy Simmons Jr.'s book, because that's exactly what they've done. They've held their composure. They fought back. They needed a run, and they've got 8 straight goals, and right now leading by 2 with 7:33 left in this contest. Leaf, Bob?
That's a good point, Carl. And he talks about the warm bath. He says you kind of ease into it. So he's got some young kids and some guys, they hang their hat on Powell, but he didn't know Mulligan was going to be the guy.
Nope.
8 straight goals in the last 11:52. So he wanted his team to sort of ease in, feel the way out, and he had confidence they would end up on the good side of it. A lot of time left. It's not a sure thing by any stretch of the imagination.
What I like is I like the team that's winning when they come out. All the Syracuse guys kind of jogged out, up on their toes, and you watch the Virginia guys come out a little bit flat-footed, as if they're fearing the worst yet.
Dom Starsia on the sideline. Roy Simmons over there.
Guess who wants the ball now?
Casey Powell on timeouts, gets the ball put in his stick. No difference here. Ryan Curtis. We've had a good string of great athletes from middle linebackers of late. Jake Berge from Bill Berge, a middle linebacker for the Eagles. Jake Berge played at Salisbury. All-American there. Of course, Curtis, a great defenseman for Virginia. And Mike Curtis, his dad, as I mentioned.
I saw him on the dating game. I wonder if that's his
Mike
mom.
Curtis?
Mike Curtis on the dating game like 25 years ago. Maybe that's his mom. Maybe he won. I've forgotten now. True. That's a true story.
I understand the story. What about his mom?
Maybe his mom was the woman he met on the dating game. We don't know this.
Oh, I got you.
See?
We'll find that out, folks, for you later.
These are the important things lacrosse fans want to know.
60. This game is much more interesting than our comments. 16-14. 6:51 left. This game is on the line. Winner is the only team that advances to the semifinals at Rutgers. That is a weekend you want to enjoy. Memorial Day weekend, Saturday, doubleheader, the best doubleheader in lacrosse.
A wonderful place to see a lacrosse game. Rutgers down in that little bowl there. Really a nice place.
Maybe a tailgating mecca.
It's a great bargain, too. You can't beat it in sports.
Syracuse knocks down the clearing pass by Leishman, but he finally gets it back. Whoa, what's the offside? But they have plenty of guys, plenty of numbers on the defensive end. Wren, good speed.
But they've got a long stick on Wren now. He's not going to get that break that he got early in the game when he had 4 goals. People might wonder, too, offsides, if you're not sure of lacrosse, on the offensive side of the field, you always have to have 3 players.
Sheedy with a great check behind the back to take it out of Jalbert's stick.
And Jalbert's trying to do too much right now, I think, Dave. He's trying to do everything by himself, and that's a mistake. They've got plenty of time, Virginia, if they just organize themselves a little bit.
Plenty of shooters on that end of the field for Virginia as Syracuse takes it back and reloads their offense.
But I really think they've got to, when it gets on the offensive side of the field, Virginia's got to get some ball movement. That's what Syracuse has done. Good ball movement. You've got a lot of goals with assists. Casey Powell, Ryan Powell, all getting assists on good plays that they've been doing.
Syracuse trying to get a lot of pressure. Soliday has looked great. Soliday gets tripped. It'll be an extra man play. You know, they found a new offensive hero in this Brian Soliday.
Well, Soliday was I was going to say Soliday was a solid player when he was at Bethpage High School. Played on the state championship team. Played on the midfield with A.J. Haugen, the great player down at Hopkins. So he's a quality ball player that's coming up to play for them.
Stepping up big here. He was driving from behind the goal, drew the foul. 2-goal lead for Syracuse, a chance to make it 3.
I think
would you call this a
2 for 2 man up?
2 for 2 man up, and this
That's
would
pretty
be,
good.
you know, again, if you want to mark your VCR, if you're a Virginia fan, this is where your team can turn it back.
Yep.
You're either going to be 3 down, or you're going to get some fresh, emotional lift from your defense.
You get that it's a 2-goal swing. It's a psychological thing. If you can get the ball and then come down and score.
Kataya out to Vanterpool.
Now, what's smart, Syracuse is being very deliberate. They don't have to score.
Ryan Powell looks far side and elects to take a shot. He faked like he was going to go to Kataya, and then he just buries it near side. 3-goal lead, Syracuse.
We got Sanderson off the pipe and beat him inside. 5 goals for Ryan Powell.
That's the nice thing about Casey Powell. I mean, he doesn't care who gets the accolades, who he wants to win the game. He gets all the pressure, he gets all the defense. Go ahead, Ryan. He says, baby brother, you take the shots.
Exactly. Watch Ryan Powell. Now, this is great. He looks off, bang, shoots high to the right-hand side. Powell, when you look at Sanderson, he's got to respect that pass. And comes off the pipe a little bit, and Powell beats him high to the inside.
I'll tell you, Kataya was naked. He was
naked.
wide open on the other side.
Yeah.
It would have been a slam dunk for Kataya. Big check for Ryan Powell, who tried to get some hard riding in there. It's Melchione. Don't come any tougher than him. Offsides for Syracuse. They didn't call it. Looked like they were offsides. They do call it now. It was offsides for Powell. It took them a while to recognize it, but finally they do.
Now, offsides from the defensive side of the field, you've got to have 4 people on. They only had 3, and since Virginia has the ball, they're going to go a man up.
J. Jalbert takes it in again.
But you know, that was a nice play. It came around, shot low, and Mulligan was quick as a cat to come down on the ball. If that goes in, they go up a goal, but they'll have a face-off then, but still, they get the goal, which is what they want.
There's J. Jalbert. Now another chance for Virginia to get things going their way. They're down by 3. 9-goal run for Syracuse. And now they have 6 players against 5 for Syracuse. If they're going to make a move, Bob Rule, this is the time to do it.
They have to do it now. They need momentum. They need confidence. They don't feel like they can beat Mulligan right now.
I think it's a little simpler than that. They need goals.
They need goals, that's right.
And this is a good chance to get one.
A goal will give them confidence. It's a 30-second penalty.
Rate of ball goes behind. Michael Leahy out to Jalbert. Melchione, nice rotation. Usually plays will start after 1 full rotation. Now they get into a player movement, player rotation, and Leahy through in close to McKnight. It was a high pass by Radeball. Bob, he was there. It was a high pass.
But you know the difference? We were calling the game about 15 minutes ago. Casey Powell catches the same kind of pass and stuffs it in. A little bit of a difference between a really great player and a real good player.
We'll be listing Bob Rule's home phone number for them to listen. So the McKnight family can call him.
No, he's a great player. I'm not knocking, but that's the difference.
There's a play to try to get it in close. McKnight tried to feed Radeball. That was the, both combination, missed on both ends.
Yep.
Radeball tried to hit McKnight. McKnight tried to hit Radeball. Both times they misfire. Now we're under 4 minutes, and it's a 3-goal lead. No goals in 16:25. Starsia cannot believe it. In the other semifinal, Princeton kind of did the same thing to a team from North Carolina, Team Duke. Yeah, Duke's down there just not scoring forever. That took them out of the game.
I think they went 27 minutes. They're up 8-4, 32 minutes before they scored a goal.
Mulligan taking his time in this no-man zone.
Now,
Casey Powell picks up a ball low and inside.
Looked like a shortstop on that one.
Yeah.
Now, with 2 minutes to go, they've got to keep the ball in the box if you're ahead. But what they want to do, they don't want to. They have no great desire to score right now. They don't have to score to win. They got to get in the box though. You can't stall. Where that 30-yard line marker is, you got to keep the ball inside that.
Ryan Powell trying to draw a flag.
Got hammered pretty good in the face
Leachman
there.
really taking some target practice on him. This is not, I'm gonna tell you something, folks, this is not easy for the Orangemen to do. They don't like to kill time in this end of the field. They want to go to the cooker. They know right now the clock is really gonna help them. Back up front, they still take some more time off it.
They got to start to. Sanderson's got to come out and double the ball a little bit.
Stuart Smith back to Kataya. Now he's got to get some tough pressure from Doug Davies. Davies puts the ball on the ground. Hold call against Davies, gives it back to Syracuse. Casey Powell says, whoop, give me the ball, and this is what they do. Every time Roy Simmons gets a chance, he wants the ball. In other words, on a stop and play, he wants the ball into the stick of number 22.
They're tired, though. You can see Virginia's a little bit tired on defense.
This is Soliday. He's had some good shots, and there's one that was checked out of range by Peter Ragosa.
Now, Brian, why are you shooting the ball? That's what I'm asking. You've got control. Just take the ball behind. If nothing else, you want discipline.
Casey Powell bounce passes to Ryan. Sloppy pass. I don't know if he meant to bounce pass or not. Whatever. It goes over to Virginia. There's a penalty against Syracuse, and there'll be a chance for Virginia to get a free shot, and then they'll have an extra
Exactly, because it's going to be a personal foul, so the foul will count.
And Mulligan makes the great save. 1:47 left. Virginia's going to make it interesting. They'll come back and have a 6-on-5 opportunity. The drama of quarterfinal action right here at Hofstra's Field. It's Syracuse in white with a 3-goal lead. Virginia now with an extra man play, 6-on-5. They've got to score here, Bob Rule, if they're going to have a chance in this game.
No doubt about it.
Rate of ball rocks and fires and picked up by Mulligan. He has been one of the heroes. Ryan Powell on the offensive end, Mulligan on the defensive end. Here goes Syracuse.
Now they got to keep it in the box.
Ball hit by Kataya, so the ball will go back to Virginia, but I think they still have a chance and they still have an extra man. Melchione will bring it up.
Melchione's got to push the ball up and try to shoot. Someone's got to shoot here quick.
Now it's too late now. It's even up at this point, but they still get a good shot in close, and they couldn't quite handle it. The ball right through the stick of Michael Leahy. Bob Rule, they have missed 3 connections in front of goalie Mulligan in the last 2 minutes.
Exactly. That's just, when things go bad, things go real bad. That's what's happening to Virginia right now. These are good ball players.
And you hear the Orangemen,
happen.
The great crowd here from upstate New York standing up, cheering. They draw a crowd wherever they go. The faithful Orange fans will follow. And you can bet they'll be at Rutgers next week. Well, we're getting some of the familiar faces, but a pretty good showdown in Rutgers. You got Princeton already there. You got Syracuse, looks like they're going to be on the way. And then some teams playing.
Saved by Mulligan. And here's an interesting question. Who are you starting to goal next week for Syracuse? It's going to be a big question.
Well, Mulligan came off the bench pretty well. Maybe you start Gephardt and come when you need him. Watch Syracuse taking the shot and off the back of the net.
Defenseman's dream.
Yeah, Kevin Sheedy. Eyes lit up, didn't he?
Yes, it did. Fortunately, the goal didn't light up for him.
Casey Powell now trying to burn off the final 27. Powell was very happy to go ahead and take the double triple teams. Oh, and referee went down, took a tumble. Casey Powell whirling in front. He's got 3 players. Look at that. A little bit of showmanship by Casey Powell to end the game. Casey Powell's been held in check. He's elected to give the ball up all game. He said, hey, folks, I got one showstopper for you. Didn't quite get it to connect.
You know, I like the one we did the behind-the-back shot down at this end was a pretty impressive goal.
Shot on Mulligan. He makes the easy save. Syracuse going to the semis. They beat Virginia 17-14, and they scored the last 9 goals of the game. How about that? Roy Simmons, not that it's not expected, but they dug themselves a hole against Virginia and
crawled right out of it.
Crawled back and took this one by 3 goals. We expected them to be around 17. We expected Virginia to be up around there in the first half. The second half killed them.
What you saw was sheer power today. You saw the Powell brothers in action, but they've got a great supporting cast too.
We'll go back with final comments from Hofstra in just a moment. Syracuse wins by 3. Syracuse wins by 3, 17-14, and they advance to the semifinals at Rutgers. We want to remind you that today's NCAA playoff action has been brought to you by STX, performance-driven, precision-crafted, by Hofstra University, we teach success, by A.G. Edwards, serving the investment community since 1887, by Manhattan East Suites Hotels, and by Cablevision. Well, this game was pretty much the way we expected. It ended up with the big guns on the offense for Syracuse taking charge.
Yeah, and if you look right now, it's the 2 Powell brothers who stepped up real big at the end. First guy, though, Ryan Powell's the guy who stepped up, scored a couple of quick goals to give Syracuse momentum. Here comes Ryan right now, driving real hard around the goal, takes a good hard shot and beats Sanderson. This was the start, this shift of momentum to Syracuse right there.
All right, so Syracuse will advance. A good, hard-fought game against Virginia. For Carl Reuter and Bob Rowe, I'm Lee Felswell. Well, thanks for watching our quarterfinal action. And our thanks to Barry Landers, the executive producer, who couldn't be here to announce, off on another assignment. We'll see you next time. Okay. Yep. Wild throws. Okay. Okay. Ready? Okay. I'll just say we pick up the action a little bit later on. I'll just say a little later on in the quarter. Okay. 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 All right, now we pick up the action a little bit later in the quarter. And now later in the quarter, Virginia had the ball. And now we move later in the quarter with Syracuse in possession. Let's move later in the quarter. Each team had scored once. Let's move down later into this quarter when Virginia had possession. Neither team scored the rest of this quarter. We'll come back and start the next. Stay with us. Anything else? Yeah, I don't know.